During an interview on this cowardly little bastard Sean Hannity's program, Cheney went after this proposal put forth by Chuck Hagel yesterday that called for shrinking the Army to its smallest size in 74 years. Closing bases, reshaping forces, because, you know, the Russian military is not going to come screaming through, is it the Fulda Valley? What is it? Maybe my two experts will tell me, what's the valley in Germany that all these troops were supposed to come streaming through? I'm sure I'll get an email from Prairie 2 and from Michael here in a second. But Cheney, who is a warmongering son of a bitch, who's a bloodthirsty man, as long as it's somebody else's blood, and Sean Hannity, who would run screaming and wetting his pants into the woods if somebody said, "Hey, Sean, how about you joining the military since you're such an advocate of war and death and destruction," right? These two sit there and say that the cuts and the reshaping that Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, the Fulda Gap, thank you, these cuts are, Cheney's words, just, no, he doesn't talk like that. These cuts are just devastating. Cheney said, I've not been a strong supporter of Barack Obama, but this really is over the top. It does enormous long-term damage to our military. They act as though it is like highway spending and you can turn it on and off. The fact of the matter, if you will, is he is having a huge impact on the ability of future presidents to deal with future crises that are bound to arise. And I think the whole thing is not driven by any change in world circumstances. It's driven by budget considerations. Obama would much rather spend the money on food stamps than he would on a strong military or support for our troops. You know, how many ways would some comments like that, I'm trying to remember how many ways comments in that vein would have resulted in a busted lip back in my neighborhood, and the perp looking for, you know, trying to pick up his teeth with a broken arm. I swear to you. Now, I don't want to give you the impression that I lived in some tough-ass neighborhood, because I did. My neighborhood was kind of an ass-kicking neighborhood. I mean, we were poor. We were working poor. And what's that got to do with it, Mike? It just was. We played, there were vacant lots all over the place. We would play pickup games of football when we were in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. And it was tackle football. It was regular football. And I cannot tell you how many times black kids and white kids, kids from the South, kids that had come north in that big wave of Southern immigrants, blacks and whites, that came north because we had work in the north. We had factories. And so it was, I mean, that's just how it was. That's just how it was, okay? But you would get a smartass who would say things that resulted, and they were so outrageous that somebody would just walk over and pop him one right in the goddamn mouth. Just bam. No, hey, you want to fight? No. That's not the way it was done. Now, we never picked up a stick or a piece of glass, and there were no guns. Eventually, some of the kids developed this habit of carrying switchblades. But I'm talking about somebody would smart off the way Cheney smarts off on this little prick Hannity's program. This little cowardly Hannity. Both of these guys, draft dodgers, and they're talking about, not draft, well, Cheney was a draft dodger. Hannity is just a flat-out coward. And they're talking about how Obama would prefer food stamps over a military. Back in my neighborhood, that would have resulted, all those years ago, in a bust right in the goddamn mouth. Pow! And then when the perp picked himself up, said, "What you hit me for, man?" Man, don't be saying stuff like that. Stuff like what? You know what you said. You're going to play on this slot. You're going to play in our football game. You're going to play a certain way. Now, STFU, only we didn't have that back then. STF, yeah. We just said it. And usually a little punk would just stop, just stop. devastating. It's just devastating. He'd rather have food stamps than strong military. I believe in a strong military. Don't you, Sean? Yes, I really do. You got to have a strong military because we have lots of places we have to go to now and kill people. Yes, I really do. And, it's absolutely necessary. I would have gone to the military, but I had more important things to do. Yes, I really do. All right, Sean, you can stop now. Yes, I really do. Jesus, God, these people.